earlier this week or last week, or depending when you're watching the video, but earlier this month, I guess, the Ravens released Earl Thomas. So I feel like every time a big name player is on the trade block or is released, these days the Texans are always linked to said player. That's kind of what we are now. Like O'Brien makes these big moves. Like whether you agree with his moves or not, we're not here to discuss that. But the fact is there that he makes big moves. So the moment that Earl was released, Ian Rappaport linked the Texans as a potential team that Earl Thomas could land with. And then John McClain said, not happening, 0% chance. So the fact that John McClain says that, it means there is a chance that Earl Thomas could be in Houston. Now, usually when a big name player is available, Texans fans are like, yes, 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 let's do it. But with Earl Thomas, it's a little bit different. Like, honestly, and I'm shocked, it's kind of split 50-50, and I might even argue that more people are leaning towards not getting Earl Thomas than getting Earl Thomas, which is weird, though, because earlier in the offseason, everybody was complaining about Eric Murray, like, all memes aside, I know we joke about it on stream, but Eric Murray is a complete unknown. Like, yes, he could be a decent starter, but he could also be a complete scrub. And I think his ceiling for us is maybe about above average, but I mean, there's still definitely, at least for me, some concerns with our opposite Justin Reed safety position. So, personally, I believe that the Texans should target Earl Thomas. That's just me, though. For how much? $5 million. That is the absolute most I would go and try to get Earl Thomas for. Why? Well, because we're already spending $6 million on Eric Murray. So that's, a lot for a not very good player. I guess a project player. So I don't want to invest too much into a safety position. And you're probably thinking, there is no way Earl Thomas takes $5 million. Well, see, I disagree. Because Earl Thomas is currently still getting paid by the Ravens. I believe he's making like $10 million for the Ravens right now this year from guaranteed money. So if he were to take $5 million from the Texans, he'd make $15 million this season playing football. Of course, if you get Earl Thomas, it would be a 1-year deal. That's it. Just a 1-year deal, and the reason why I think getting Earl Thomas would be good is because I just don't think, well, besides the fact that I don't trust Eric Murray, but I don't think the Texans have a veteran voice in that DB room. For the longest time, it's been J-Joe. Not saying, Justin Reed is not a good player, not saying Roby is not a good player, not saying Conley's not a good player, but I don't think those guys can be that veteran leader that I feel like the team needs on the back end of the defense. And I feel like Earl Thomas can be that guy. And I know you guys are probably going to say, well, he was fighting with Chuck Clark. Well, if we're being honest, Chuck Clark is ugly. Why wouldn't he fight with him? No, but like, jokes aside, it was probably just a football argument, like whatever, things get heated. I understand that, like, it happens, but you can believe what you want to believe. You can believe, the media people or whatever. But when players like Deshaun Watson, Charles Omenihu, Jalen Ramsey, Richard Sherman, when they all come out and say nothing but good things about Earl Thomas, I don't believe the players, man. Even though apparently the Ravens players went to John Harbaugh and said, it's him or me. So, even though that's the case, I believe Deshaun, Charles, Jalen Ramsey, I believe all these players in the NFL when they say Earl Thomas is fine. Now, look, I understand Kenny still says, nah, we good. But, I mean, I don't think we are good. We're not, bro. We need someone next to Justin Reed. And I guarantee you, if Earl Thomas tries to, punch Justin Reed gonna punch him right back. Punch him in the mouth. And Justin Reed gonna win because Justin Reed is young. And, he good looking. But we're not here to talk about that. But, yeah, I definitely think the Texans should get Earl Thomas. And I know, there's definitely, some concerns about his character. But like I said, man, all these players have came out to, say these good things about him. So, I really don't think Earl Thomas is, a bad person. I don't think it's an A-B situation. Now, look, understand this. Earl Thomas, he's not the same guy that he was in 2017. He's definitely lost a step or two, but a regressing 31-year-old Earl Thomas is still a genius. He is a genius. He knows all the looks. He knows how to confuse quarterbacks with the way he lines up. And I think we could really benefit from that. I think Justin Reed could learn a lot from Earl Thomas. And I feel like these other DBs could also benefit from Earl Thomas being back there. And like I said, a leadership standpoint. The dude's been there, done that, has been to a couple Super Bowls, even won one. He's been on a winning team his whole life, pretty much. Or his whole NFL career. He knows what it takes. And yes, I understand that Bill O'Brien asked Earl Thomas, do you still even want to play football? Last year when Earl wanted to come to Houston. And, maybe that burned bridges, but who knows? I would want Earl Thomas on this team. And some people might ask, well, ain't Justin Reed and Earl Thomas both free safeties? What are you going to do? Well, you bench Justin Reed. Not just playing. Justin Reed is a safety who can do it all. He has an all-around good skill set. You can play him in the box. You can move Justin Reed everywhere and have Earl be your deep safety. Or you could even have Justin Reed be the deep safety and have Earl Thomas lurk the middle of the field, racking up interceptions and stuff like that, confusing quarterbacks. The possibilities would be endless. Now, personally, I want it to happen. Will the Texans do it? Probably not, because they invested $6 million a year on Eric Murray. So I don't think they'd go get Earl Thomas, but I think it would be good for the Texans to get Earl Thomas. If we get Earl Thomas, I feel like that crosses out one weakness on this team, and I think our next biggest concern would probably be running back or inside linebacker depth. We would no longer have any concerns from a starting standpoint. Because if you add Earl Thomas, replace Eric Murray, who on that Texans starting unit from anywhere really concerns you, besides maybe David Johnson. So it would definitely cross out one of our biggest weaknesses on this team, and maybe it could even help us get over the hump and finally maybe make an AFC championship game, because I think we're the only team in the NFL not to reach a conference championship game. So maybe Earl Thomas can help us get over that hump. But here's another thing. I think, how I've been saying with JJ, I think JJ Watt needs to be on a snap count. I've said it before, I've been saying it all off season. If the Texans get Earl Thomas, I feel like he should be in a similar situation. He should be on a snap count. He's 31, 32 years old. He's played a lot of football in his career. So, play him 70, 75% of snaps throughout the season, and then just let him go in the playoffs. Keep him healthy throughout the year. Manage his workload, and then once it's playoff time, you unleash both him and JJ. I think that's what you have to do with a player like Earl Thomas. He has to come in here and understand you're not a full-time starter, not because, you're not good, even though he has lost a step or two. He's not the same Earl Thomas, guys, I promise you. He is not an elite safety anymore, but he's still a good safety. But, you manage his workload, get him healthy into the playoffs. He'll be nice and fresh in the playoffs, and maybe he'll make some plays for us in the playoffs along with J.J. Watt. I think the Texans need to start doing that, managing players' workloads, like maybe even Whitney Merciless as well, older players. And yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on the whole Earl Thomas to Houston thing. I mean, hopefully they get him. I want him. I know people have been asking Clowney or Earl, and I'm kind of leaning towards Earl right now, man, because I don't like Eric Murray. I'm going to just be honest. I don't like Eric Murray. I don't think he's going to be good for us. I don't think he's going to do anything for us. I think he's just going to be there. And I wouldn't be shocked if A.J. Moore takes that starting safety spot next to Justin Reed, because apparently he's been doing really, really good. So, yeah. Hopefully we get Earl, though. And, yeah, that's all I have for you guys for today. Comment down below your own opinion. Should we get Earl Thomas, or should we stay away from him? Anyways, be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.